Hey everyone, welcome back to my vinyl collection, and today we're talking about the new album by As It Is called OK. So this is their sophomore album, first one being called Never Happy Ever After, back in 2015. I've actually done a video on that. It's the first video I did on vinyl records, I think. So go back and check that one out if you want to. So this is their second album, just released last Friday, 20th of January, and on the following Sunday was actually their Kingston release show, which was actually epic. Now, on the artwork, you do get a completely different type as opposed to what it had on the first one. It's no longer a photo that's been stylized. It's actually a bit of artwork here that they've got an artist called Yannick Picard. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm not too sure, so sorry if I butchered it. But they've actually got this guy to actually design it, and actually did a really good job. And I really love the design because it's, you know, there's actually a good sense of talent here being put through, and actually to create these images. And there's actually expanded artwork inside with a few more panels, which are just equally impressive. A little bit of background about why they chose to do this is because they chose the sort of 50s era or time period, because back then, you know, people, because of the wars and everything, people sort of feared that, but masked that fear and disguised it by sort of pretending like everything else is, you know, fine, because of free use of culture and visions of what the future could be like. And in some ways that kind of reflects what life is like now with the things that have happened across these past year or two. So I feel like it's quite a relevant type of artwork that has a good metaphor and a way to represent that kind of narrative. So I think in that case it's done a really good job. Now on the back it does have a picture of the band standing together, and I've kept going on about in my videos how I don't really like bands showing themselves on the artwork and everything unless it's stylized in a certain way, but in this case I think it's done appropriately here because it's meant to look like an aged photograph from the 50s, and that's done, you know, well by making it black and white with speckles across the photo, and also this worn and torn aged look across it, which I think works really well. And the bottom bit here, the graphics used are quite retro, and I feel like overall it does match the sort of time period of the album and the general album aesthetic, so that works. So inside you do get the record, which isn't in this plastic sleeve. The one that comes with it is a paper version, which is the typical standard one you get, which is not great. There's actually a called Original Master sleeve, which I bought. I've actually talked about this in a video I've done beforehand. And it's from a company called Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab. So if you want to get a decent set of sleeves, then get these ones because they actually help protect it as opposed to the paper one. Anyway, and then also it's obviously mint green, limited to 1,000 copies. I think this is the exclusive variant for the UK version of the album. And yeah, so it's 12-inch 33 RPM, so fairly standard, and it looks gorgeous. You'll see it again later, properly not inside the packet here. So this is the inner booklet sleeve sort of thing, or blown up version of the booklet you get. And I quite like how they've carried on the same sort of theme, getting the same artist to design each sort of photo or picture even. And again, it carries on the same theme of people looking happy, looking like they're having fun, and the idea of masking the fears and the catastrophes that are happening in the photos, such as, you know, it looks looking like they're playing baseball, catching the ball, but he's about to catch a grenade. It's like, what on earth is going on? And then it's sunny as well, and everything looks fun. There's a lot of greenery, and this woman smiling, digging her own grave, and his family looking really happy, posing the photo, eating rotting food, and a guy wearing a gas mask watering the plants. So all of this is carrying on the same sort of theme as the cover and the overarching story and narrative of people masking their fears by looking happy and acting as if everything's fine when it isn't. And so also supports the whole point of the album as well, and each song. So I feel like that's done really well. And also I think it's meant to be giant Polaroids. I'm not too sure, like massive Polaroid photos, because, you know, you get the picture in the middle top here, and also use a blank space around it. So maybe that's what you're trying to go for. And also there's a worn and torn aged kind of effect to it as well if you look closely. So I think that's kind of what they were trying to get at, and I think that's, again, works really well with the whole theme of the 50s, so it works. At the bottom here you do get the lyrics, which are great because, you know, you can sing along to the songs as you're listening to them, and also you get the credits and the thank yous, which are also quite a fun bit to read. So overall, a very nice design. So this album has an 11-song track list, and there's quite a lot of outstanding tracks on this record. A few being Pretty Little Distance, which I've actually done a review on a while back, so that's a great track on its own. OK still lives up to how much I love it since it was released as a single, and I absolutely love it now still. It rivals quite a lot of the songs on the record, and it's a really important, short and sweet song, reminding people that it's absolutely fine to open up to your friends and family, because they'll be there to support you if you're going through something quite tough, and it's absolutely okay to talk to people about things that are troubling you. So that's a great song to remind people about that. Hey Rachel is another one of my favourite songs on the record, easily rivaling OK. I love how it's quite a short and sweet, snappy song that's just really concisely written in a song with a narrative that's basically Patty saying sorry to his sister and apologising for not being there when she needed him. And I feel like it's just a really fun track. track. It's the one of the more happier ones in the sense, even though it does have sad connotations to it, and but it still is the more of a happier one, which if you hear it played live, you're gonna have a really good experience hearing it being played. And also I like how, you know, it's a song that basically represents how he's trying to strive to be a better person. He knew he made mistakes in the past, he knew he was supposed to be there for her, and he knew it was kind of his responsibility to sort of guide her throughout her life as she grew up, and he just wasn't there for her because he was facing his own demons, but yet he's striving to become better, and I feel like that says quite a good message. Patchwork Love is another pleasant surprise on this record. I think it's a really well written track with lyrics that I really like, such as in the second verse where he goes, "I'm sorry all of me was not enough." I feel like that's actually quite sad bit of songwriting there, but also it sounds happy at the same time, so you kind of mix and you feel quite conflicted. And also the song itself, it sounds like it's about a conflicted relationship where the singer is basically kind of coming to terms with the fact that he's not good for this person and that he wants to leave and not be in that person's way, and that's kind of really emphasised in the chorus. And also the chorus is really well written in terms of the way it's written and the way it sounds. I think it's sung really well, it has a really catchy hook to it and really good melodies behind it that really emphasise the song as a whole. The bridge to it I think really helps with the piano and the vocals overlaid with the instruments that are introduced over time to a crescendo of a really satisfying final chorus. And I also like the fact that in this song they kind of change the lyrics a little bit as they go through, so each chorus is kind of a little bit different, or it builds on each one, and I think that's actually a good structure that they've gone with, and so overall a really great pop punk song. Curtains Closed is a song that, you know, slows down a little bit, takes it easy, and it's quite mellow, but it's a great example of a track that's fun. Yeah, it deals with the idea of reminiscing the past, of years gone by, and not wanting to say goodbye to all those things, but yet knowing that you have to move forward in life, and that's the only direction that life kind of goes. And so it's actually quite a sad song. Now there's another few tracks which are really good standout songs on this record, which actually make this one differ and quite unique to what they usually release, because these songs are really dark. One being No Way Out, which is actually another single they released after Pretty Little Distance, and it's a track that has makes itself quite unique because it has a kind of like a spoken word yet shouty bridge to it, which I think is quite well written, but yet it kind of falls apart towards the end. I wasn't too keen on the way that bit was, you know, written towards the end of it because it sounded a bit cheesy, but yeah, it worked okay in the way it was and the song as a whole. And also the chorus is actually really catchy and easy to sing to, especially when it's played live, and actually had a really good time hearing them play it the other day, so that one is a good one on its own. The follow-up to that, or next one that's actually quite dark, is Soap, which is actually one of the standout tracks on this record by being quite different to every other song they've released so far. It's the one they were, I guess, most nervous about releasing, and yet kind of really wanting to release it at the same time. This song dwells into the idea of almost like a dual identity kind of feel to it, which is kind of why it's called Soap, because it's referencing Fight Club, at least that's what they claimed anyway. But it deals with the idea of you know, you can't really be yourself around certain people, and the way some people talk about you makes you not want to be your true self. So it's about this false facade kind of ideology, which I think is actually quite a cool song that they've written. And also the verses are sung really interestingly. It's almost like a Panic at the Disco kind of vibe during the verses, or at least that kind of hint towards it anyway. But also the bridge, not the bridge, the chorus is just insane. I love how they've gone back to a heavy kind of aggressive style. Also No Way Out has a really aggressive bridge to it, which is not just spoken word but shouty. That one's really aggressive. It sort of really puts across this excruciating kind of pain and then sort of angst behind it as well. But in Soap, that's brought back here with the chorus and the way that's sung, and I really loved how catchy that is. And also I love how they kind of bring back the sort of sense they had back in Horoscopes and Bit of Broken Me, which I feel like has been lost over the time as they progressed, so it's great to hear they bring that back. Austen is a song that I think is about one of Ben's relatives and the pain and suffering of seeing somebody suffer and not wanting to see that, and actually you know, wanting to find the strength to see them at this incredibly painful stage of their life. And I feel like that song's quite well written, there's a lot of heart to it, it's a very dark song, and I feel like this trio of songs really helped make this album stand out for a band such as them. Now, Still Remembering is the last song on the record. It's a gorgeous acoustic ballad type song, and at first glance, or first listen should I say, it sounds like, you know, it's a typical typical breakup song, you know, him moving forward and come to terms with the fact that he has to let her go, and that one day she will find somebody else who's, you know, who's worthy of her time and everything, blah blah. And you know, that is a really sweet song. It's really nicely written and quite a smooth way to end the record. But what's actually really special about this song is when he revealed what the song actually was about during the live show on Sunday. And he revealed that it was a song he wrote, or they wrote, should I say, when they sort of all hit a writer's block during the writing process of the record. And he sort of, you know, went through the stage where he just sort of panicked and sort of just didn't know what the hell to do if this band ends here, and you know, is this the end of the band, and just the fear that they're no more and losing everything that they built over these years. And because if he wasn't doing this anymore, he don't know what the hell he's going to do. So it's that fear that drove them to write this song called Still Remembering, which is actually a breakup song of the band, not just a relationship. So they used the relationship sort of idea as a sort of a way to mask it and sort of as a metaphor for the band breaking up and losing this sort of friendship, I guess, in the sense that they built as a band together. So it actually adds much more layers and narrative to the song that I didn't know was there before. So it actually makes it much more important to me, and when I listen to it a second time, knowing this information actually makes a lot more sense. And you know, it's like watching a movie. It's the second time around when you know a little bit more about it and you sort of pick up on things, and the same goes for this song. So in general, I really love the way it ends, and it's a perfect way to end the album. Now, I've been overwhelmingly impressed with this record. I think they completely smashed the last one. Even though Never Happy was a really good album, this one kind of upped the game in every single way, in a sense. Also, obviously, it's not as heavy as This Mind of Mine EP. You know, you don't get songs like Horoscopes and A Bit of Broken Me as much as you hear it on here. But what you do get is songs that touch on darker tones, such as Austen, No Way Out, and Soap. So you do kind of get the best of both worlds. So you do get like a really fun pop punk band, as well as being quite aggressive at the same time. So that's good in that sort of area. Also, I think what's really important to me is the fact that this album doesn't just deal with relationships, friends, family, growing up, and the idea of being different. What's really important is the idea that it reassures people that it's absolutely okay to not feel okay about things, because you know, it's trying to end this stigma that, you know, if you're feeling badly for anxiety, suddenly you're treated like a second-class citizen. Like, why is that? We should be there to support each other, and I feel this album is there to remind people of that. So I feel like in that case they've done a really good job, and I really appreciate them writing this one, because it's songs that are really relatable, and just it provides a sense of comfort to listeners, and I feel like they really do care about their fans and care about what they do. So in that case, it's a fantastic album. So that does it for my review of As It Is new album, OK. Again, this is the mint green edition, limited to 1,000 copies, and it's the UK variant. So if you want to get this one, you can, if you're in the UK or whatever. But there's also the blue variant and also a black version, both of which are limited to 500 copies. But anyway, I hope you guys found the video helpful in some way, and if you did, please feel free to show your support by liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel if you want to. And as usual, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. So, see ya.